Alison Larkin presents Grief, a Comedy, written by Alison Larkin, read by the author. That's me. For Bhima, of course. Prologue. I met Archbishop Desmond Tutu in 2005 when I was invited to join him for lunch at a restaurant in New York by Karen Hayes, a mutual friend who was making a documentary about him and staying with me at the time. The Arch, as his friends called him, was sitting at the head of the table between two very impressive young men. I was at the far end of the table, feeling small and thinking, what on earth am I doing here? Suddenly, the Arch stopped the conversation and said to the two young men, "I did not win the Nobel Peace Prize to listen to you two trying to impress me by going on and on about yourselves and your accomplishments because you think I might be able to help your careers, while you completely ignore the young woman at the end of the table. Alison, tell us about you." "Right," I said. "I was adopted by English parents and came to America a few years ago to find my birth mother in Bald Mountain, Tennessee. Then I moved to New York and became a stand-up comic because what else do you do?" Everyone at the table laughed. "Did you have a good adoption?" Archbishop Desmond Tutu asked. "Yes," I said. "I got lucky. Then again, if I'd been adopted by Mia Farrow, today I could be married to Woody Allen." The Arch laughed loud and long. Then he invited me to join him and his group over the next 2 days. We spent the time in between his engagements cracking each other up, and when he found out I could do a Margaret Thatcher impression, he insisted I sit opposite him at meals and with me as Margaret Thatcher and him as Desmond Tutu, which of course he was. We had several outrageous political discussions, which we both found hilarious. During a brief break in our repartee, he turned to me with a serious expression on his face and said, "Alison, I'm not sure why I am feeling called to tell you this, but I want you to remember something, and it's this. I can't control what happens to me, but I can control how I respond to it." 15 years later, our mutual friend insisted I write an email to Archbishop Desmond Tutu telling him the basics of the story you are about to hear. Here's what happened 10 minutes later. October 15, 2020. Dear Alison, of course I remember you. How could I forget the young comic who conversed with me in the voice of Margaret Thatcher with such aplomb? I also remember what I said to you the following day, and am glad that it is helping you now. I loved the way you took your adoption and reunion and turned it into comedy, and your novel, The English American, and I've kept tabs on you over the years. And this story needs the widest circulation possible because it will bring hope to many people who might otherwise condemn themselves to despair. You must do whatever you have to do to make sure this story is told as widely as possible and not just in an email to me. Arch. October 15, 2020. Dear Arch, thank you so much for your kind words. I am glad you think my story might be able to help people. But I am sorry to say the thought of writing another book makes me want to hide under the bed and never come out again.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?